Long ago, in a small village nestled peacefully among lush green hills, there lived a young man named Hero. He was known to everyone not for his strength or talents, but for his restless, ever-churning mind. Hero was perpetually lost in an endless stream of thoughts. Memories of the past clung to him tightly, while worries about the future kept him ceaselessly preoccupied. His mind resembled a cluttered room, overflowing with questions, fears, and relentless analysis. Peace, to Hero, seemed like a distant dream, buried beneath the dust of his chaotic thoughts. His life drifted by in a state of unease. Villagers often spotted him wandering the narrow paths, his feet moving aimlessly, his eyes lost in the void. Though surrounded by serene beauty, the chirping of birds, the gentle breeze rustling through the trees, Hero couldn't feel it. His soul was imprisoned within his own thoughts, and he yearned desperately for a way out. Then one day, rumors of a Zen master living atop a distant mountain reached Hero's ears. It was said that this master held the secret to calming the soul, bringing the stillness everyone longed for. Filled with hope, Hero resolved to set out. He packed a few essentials, stepped through the village gate, and embarked on a grueling journey. Long days of trekking through dense forests and scaling steep slopes didn't deter him. The mountain peak gradually came into view, and with it, the promise of change, a chance for Hero to rediscover himself. After days of traversing rugged paths and towering mountains, Hero finally reached the lofty summit. Before him unfolded a tranquil scene. White clouds drifted lazily, the wind whispered through the treetops. There, the renowned Zen master sat in silence, eyes closed, immersed in meditation. His presence radiated a rare calm, as if the world's tempests could never touch him. Hero approached, heart full of reverence, bowed low, and spoke softly, "Master, I've traveled far to find you. My mind is in constant turmoil, I crave peace. Can you teach me how to empty my mind?" The Zen master slowly opened his eyes, his gaze gentle yet profound. With a serene smile, he replied, "Empty your mind? Very well, I will teach you." Without another word, he led Hero to a small, charming courtyard surrounded by a verdant garden. At its center stood a large stone basin brimming with water, its surface still, mirroring the sky. The master picked up a ladle, scooped some water from the basin, and poured it into an empty little bowl nearby. Then he turned to Hero, his voice warm and steady. "Your task is to empty this basin. Transfer all the water to the bowl without spilling a single drop." Hero gazed at the large basin and tiny bowl, doubt flooding his heart. How could this be possible? But with fierce determination, he began scooping water, ladle by ladle, unaware that this challenge would transform him forever. Hero stood before the great basin, ladle in hand, starting the task the Zen master had assigned. He scooped water from the stone basin, carefully pouring it into the small bowl, striving not to let a drop escape. Yet the basin seemed bottomless. Hours passed, sweat rolled down his brow, but the water level barely budged. The bowl quickly overflowed, while the basin stood unmoved, mocking his every effort. Hero grew restless, his hands trembling, his already troubled mind spiraled further into chaos. He wondered if this was a jest or if he was doing something wrong. The harder he tried, the more despair crept in. Dark thoughts flooded back. Was he capable? Was this journey pointless? He scooped faster, poured harder, but nothing changed. His patience wore thin, giving way to frustration. Just then, the Zen master approached, his eyes tender yet knowing. He placed a hand on Hero's shoulder, his voice soft as a breeze. "My child, you've strived so hard to empty the basin, but you've missed the most vital thing. To empty the basin, you must first empty your mind." Hero looked up, eyes brimming with confusion. The master's words pierced the darkness like a ray of light. He continued, "Let go of worry, fear, and the burdens you carry. Only when you are truly present does this task gain meaning." Hero took a deep breath, the lesson sinking in, preparing him for a profound shift. Hero stood still, the master's words echoing in his mind. He stared at the basin, his confusion fading, replaced by a fresh resolve. "Empty the mind," he murmured, seeking the deeper truth within those words. The Zen master smiled, his gaze a beacon lighting Hero's path. "Release your anxieties, fears, and every tie that binds," he said, voice rich and calm. "Focus only on each moment, live fully in the now, and all will come naturally." Hero drew a deep breath, cool air filling his chest. He relaxed his burdened shoulders, letting go of the chaotic thoughts that once held him captive. No longer grasping for control or rushing, he lifted the ladle, scooping water slowly. This time, he didn't dwell on the outcome or fret over the basin's emptiness. He listened to the water's gentle trickle, felt its coolness on his hands, and let his mind merge with each motion. Gradually, he slipped into a wondrous calm. Everything grew light and effortless, like a flowing stream. Strangely, as Hero's mind cleared, the task seemed to shift. Water flowed from the basin to the bowl with ease, no longer spilling over. The basin emptied bit by bit, the final drops falling in his stunned silence. Hero looked up at the master, gratitude swelling within. The master nodded gently. See, when your mind is empty, you align with all things. Peace isn't far away, it's always within you. Those words carved themselves into Hero's heart, a flame to guide his way forward. Hero stood quietly, ladle still in hand, watching the last drop fall into the bowl. The stone basin now stood empty, a feat he'd deemed impossible mere hours before. He gazed at the Zen master, heart full of awe and thanks. His mind, once weighed down by turmoil, now felt as light as the mountain breeze. The stillness he tasted, a perfect harmony with each action, had unveiled a new horizon within him. The Zen master stepped closer, his eyes aglow with compassion. "Do you see, Hero?" he said, voice warm like a fire on a cold night. "When you empty your mind, you let the universe flow through you. You no longer resist the current but become part of it." The task was never about the basin, it was about finding peace within yourself. Hero listened, each word rooting deep in his soul. He realized his past struggles, stress, worry, only distanced him from his goal. Peace wasn't something to chase outwardly, it was a light ever burning inside, waiting to be kindled. From that moment, Hero changed. He left the mountain, carrying the master's precious lesson in his heart. Each step back to the village felt lighter, as if old burdens had dissolved. Though life rolled on with its ups and downs, Hero no longer let his mind stray. He lived each moment fully, leaving behind days of unrest, and found true stillness deep within his soul. Hero stood before the Zen master, his heart like a calm lake after a storm. The basin was empty, the bowl full, but his gain transcended the task's success. He looked into the master's eyes, feeling the serenity radiating from him. "I understand," Hero whispered, voice thick with emotion. "Peace isn't in controlling everything, it's in letting go and living fully in the present." The master nodded, his kind smile glowing like dawn's first light. "Yes, Hero. When your mind is empty, you open a door to merge with the world." From the mountain's height, Hero gazed down at the village where he'd once lived in turmoil. Now, everything seemed different, not the scenery, but how he saw it. He felt the wind song through the trees, the sun's gentle gleam on the hills, and the steady beat of his heart. The master's lesson wasn't just a moment, it became a lighthouse guiding him through the days ahead. When Hero returned to the village, he was no longer the troubled youth of old. He shared his tale with the villagers, his voice warm like a fire kindling hearts. Each day, he lived simply, focusing on small tasks, from fetching water by the stream to chatting with friends. The master's teaching stayed etched in his soul: empty your mind, and you'll find everything. From then on, Hero not only found peace but spread it to those around him, like light from a hearth warming a winter night.